Alright, today's project, I'm going to be putting up this shelf. I want to make sure that it's up there real solid because it's heavy and we might put some heavy things on top of it. So I'm nervous that it's going to fall off. So I got to make sure that it's up very, very strong. So once I determine the height and the center of where I want my shelf, I put a piece of tape there. So I'm going to put a mark on the tape, just like that. That way you're not marking up the wall, you're just marking it on the tape. Also, keep your hands clean so you don't get fingerprints all over everything. That's real important. Okay, so once I've determined my height and my center, I'm going to go to my shelf here. Again, I put a piece of tape here. Sometimes it's hard to see a pencil line on the dark stain there. So I'm going to measure this at 34 3/4. So the center of that is 17 3/8. Okay. I'm going to double check this side, and I'm at 17 3/8. Perfect. So that's my center. Now, if you bought a shelf like this, or a picture frame or a mirror frame, they have some type of a hanger bracket piece like this. This is probably what you have, and they're difficult to work with. It's hard to get it just right on there. It's really difficult. So, but if you do have these on the back, you want to mark right where that point is. So right there, I'm going to mark it right there on the tape. Okay. Same on that side, mark it on the tape. Now I made this shelf years ago, and I didn't use those brackets. I just drilled holes in mine. So they work real well. I won't have to deal with that bracket. So I'm going to mark this side where my hole is. Alright, so I got 2 marks, and I have a center mark right there. Okay, my holes are exactly 20 inches apart. Okay? So I have my center. If I mark over 10 inches, I'm going to put a piece of tape here, just like that. And I'm also going to measure over 10 inches. I'm going to put a piece of tape there. And I don't have an exact measurement right now. Okay, I'm going to put that exact measurement on a piece of tape. So that's what I'm going to do. I got my center mark. I'm going to measure over 10 inches. And do it just like that. Mark it just like that. Okay, I'm going to do the same on this side. 10 inches. I'm going to double check that, make sure I have 20 inches. Okay, I have 20 inches apart, so that's perfect. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a level. I already used the height of my top of my shelf. I'm going to level across. Most of you know how to use a level. Mark on the tape. Alright, so now I have a level line and have a 10-inch mark. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a level. I'm going to mark that 10-inch mark. Down a couple inches. above and below my line, right there. Above and below my line as well. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the back of my shelf where my hole is. I'm going to measure from that hole to the top of the shelf. So in this case, I'm at 1 3/8 inches. And I'm going to double check this side and make sure it's the same 1 3/8 inches. Because it could be off a little bit. If it's off 1/8, then your shelf is going to be off. It won't be level. So we don't want that. So I'm at 1 3/8 inches on both sides. That's good. So now, from my line, I'm going to measure down 1 3/8 inches. Alright, so that's where I'm going to put my screws, right there. So when it's up, I'll be at the right height. So what you want to do here, hopefully you can hit a stud, some wood backing behind there. You can almost find it by, you can hear it back there just by tapping it. Now I'm going to be painting this wall next week, so I'm not worried too much about making marks on the wall. But if you have a finished wall, be careful, not to make a bunch of marks. Make sure your hammer's clean. Make sure your hands are clean. But in my case, it doesn't matter. I'm going to hang the shelf. Once I have all my holes where I need them to be, and take the shelf off and paint the wall, and I'll know right where to put my shelf back up. So I can hear that there's a stud there, but I want to make sure. So I'm going to take a nail and I'm going to, okay, you can tell I hit a stud here. I got lucky. So I hit some wood backing there. Now you might have a stud finder. I don't have one with me, but a stud finder really is just battery operated, and you turn it on and it beeps as soon as you hit the stud. Okay, but I don't have one, so I just use the nail. So I already have my mark here on the other side, my 20-inch mark. I'm going to take a nail, and there's no stud there. I can tell. See, there's nothing there. So that's a bummer. I wish there was a stud there, but there wasn't. So I'm going to have to use an anchor on this one. This side, I can put a solid screw right to the stud. So that's what I'm going to do. I got a screw here. It's 1 5/8 inches, and I'm not going to put the screw straight in. I'm going to put it on a bit of an angle, just like that. Just so it kind of helps keep the shelf from falling off. I'm worried if I put it straight on, the shelf might come off. So I'm going to keep it on an angle like that. And to get it started, I'm just going to use my hammer. And start by tapping that screw in, just like that. Alright? And I got a regular Phillips screw, driver. And I'm going to screw it in just like that. Now if you can, I have a drill driver here. I'm just going to screw it in with this. I'm going to leave it out about that much. I'm going to leave it sticking out. Now on this side, I'm going to use an anchor, a wall anchor, and this is what I want to use right here. These are drywall anchors. These are the best anchors to use. They look like that. Got a little pointy end on them. These are perfect. You want to use these. Do not use these. A lot of times when you buy a mirror or frame, they give you these little anchors. Do not use these anchors. So we're going to use these. Now the way that these work, it has a pointy end on it, so you really don't even need to pre-drill a hole. This actually drills a hole for you. But I'm going to drill a hole just because I want to. Alright? The way that these anchors go in, actually these anchors are made to go straight in, just like that. And this will end up being flush with the drywall. I'm going to put mine on an angle just like that for the same reason I did the other side. I want it to be on an angle so when I put that screw in, it has a less chance of the shelf falling off. So, alright, so that goes in just like that. I'm going to barely tap it in. And these work real easy. You just take a regular screwdriver and you put it in just like that. You want to keep pressure on it, and it drills its way into the wall just like that. Now you want to use these hand tight. You don't want to use the drill to tighten these in. You really want to make sure you don't over tighten them. Very important. Alright, so now that those are on, I could take this tape off. I want to leave the top part of the tape on. It has a line there that tells me exactly where my holes are. So when I go to put my shelf up there, you kind of have a hard time finding your holes. But if you have a mark here, you'll have a better chance of finding them holes. So I'm going to peel the tape off. But not all the way up. Just like that. You also have your center line here. I'm going to leave that piece on there as well. It's very difficult to find your holes, when you're putting that shelf up. So I got these two reference points, and I've got the third one. So I could kind of stick it up there, and I should be able to find that relatively easy. Okay, once I have this anchor in, I put a screw in that, just like I did the other side. It's on a bit of an angle. Okay, it looks like we're almost ready to put that in. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of these vinyl pieces on the back. These are little sticky bumpers. They're made to go on cabinet doors. And they just stick right on, peel them off. I'm going to stick those on the back side here, just so it doesn't mark up the wall. Just like that. Now I think I'm just going to put the bumps on the bottom. I don't think I'm going to put them on the top. And the reason I'll say that is once this shelf goes up, it's going to naturally have a tendency to sag a little bit in the front, like that. So I think by having those rubber bumpers on the back, that might help to level it off a little bit. So let's see how we did. I might have to screw these in a little bit more, but let's see how we did here. So I have my marks. I got 3 of them on here. I know what height is. All right, looks like I'm on there. All right, we'll make sure it's on there good. All right, so I should be able to put something real heavy on there, and I should not have a problem. That's it. That's the finished product right there. So I want to double check this with the level, and it's perfect. So that's it for this project. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you can, give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I'm Ray Commons. Join me next time for another Common Sense project. I'm Ray Commons. Thanks for watching.